Peace and blessings and welcome back to Heritage Hip Hop, where we introduce you to your future favorite artists today, and we also give homage to the people who give you the lessons that the mainstream don't want you to hear. And that's real life lessons. Please introduce yourself to the people from the left to the right.
B Wise 20662, Lifers Group official. We in here.
Lattidah 203126, Lifers Group official. What's up?
It's a pleasure to get to talk to y'all because, as we spoke before, I've gotten one side of the story, and I want to tell y'all, like I told the other gentleman, there's a history with what the Lifers Group meant to us as people who listen to hip hop music. From Belly of the Beast, you know what I'm saying,
right.
on to the other music. It was, when Knowledge Itself, 5% and all that stuff was going through Jersey, the people who were in the prisons gave messages to the people who were on the street that, listen, this not for you.
Right.
How does hip hop from life experience save younger people's lives and then keep them aware that there's a danger in life that most people try to hide from you?
Well, it's just like with any positive message. You know what I mean? First of all, you got to be receptive, right? See, back then we was talking to our peers. So it was like one youth talking to another youth. And I'm telling you what I did, what got me here, this is what happened. This is where you don't want to be at. The wise man is he who learns from others' experiences, right? But before we go into that, first of all, let me give a shout out, right? To Amazing G, Lifers Group official. Almighty L, Big L, Lifers Group official. Rocky D, Lifers Group official. Chuck X, Lifers Group official. Merciful, right? Lifers Group official. And it's a few more, but right now these are the main characters. Point though, right? You have to be receptive. See, now we talking to the youth. Before we was talking to our peers. It's a difference now, right? Because it's a different generation. So we trying to reach the generation the same way we reached the generation back then, through the music, through hip hop. And I think it's something was mentioned about the competition, the camaraderie, right? This type of thing. Like, that's good to a certain extent, to be like in competition with each other, but in a positive way, not in a negative way. Who can be the better man, not the worst man? You feel me? So these are the things that we trying to get across, right? In terms of our history and what we did. Like, I celebrate this brother all the time, right? Because this brother did 30 years straight.
Absolutely. Straight.
I did 33 years in installment. Because I had a hard head, right? I don't, you know what I mean? I had a hard head. But I got brothers that been to prison that recognize this ain't it. I wish I'd have recognized this wasn't it. So I'm telling you, that ain't it.
And like to add on, it's the authenticity of the music. Meaning that you have to come from you, not copying what somebody else doing, what's famous. I mean, because this is real hip hop. This is real. This is how it was like before the golden age. Or you could put it in the golden age because you couldn't come out sounding like nobody. So the authenticity of that, I think, will kind of like transcend and get them to hear, I mean, these stories. Because it's real, you're not copying. Man, this is my real story. I'm not faking nothing. I mean, this is it. So that right there should be able to like penetrate, you know, and emerge and grab like the listeners, like say, man, this is some real stuff.
I want to ask y'all this question because I think people have a false understanding of what life and what time is. I want to ask y'all this question. I believe that time is relative and it's man-made. So depending on where you are in your life, time flows different and you understand it different. I was talking to a group of people in a listening party. I said, there's a point when you were a kid and school was all day and you couldn't wait to get home. But then as an adult, 24 hours is not enough.
Right.
And then in today's world, I've heard people say, youth is wasted on the young and experience is lost with the elder. What does time mean for you? And how do you give it back through the experience, knowing the experiences that you've been through?
Well, you know, time means different things to different people, right? For the Muslim, for the one who's grounded in the belief that there is no deity deserving worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Time is Allah. Time is Allah. Allah is actually time, right? Because He created it, and He is in control of it. And it all goes back to Him. So for the Muslim, this is how we look at time. However, time is good if you use it in a good way, in a positive way, right? Then it's progressive, right? But if you use it in a negative way, then you wasted it. You wasted time. Because time doesn't wait for no one, right? Time waits for no one. Like a minute ago, you done lost that. You feel me? A second ago, you done lost that.
You lost that, yeah.
You know, you lost that, right? So we constantly moving. So we either progress towards what is positive and what is correct and what is right, or we progress towards what is incorrect, what is negative, and what will cause you to fail at the end of the day. Whether you see it or not, right? Because perception is reality, right? So whether you realize it or not, and whether you stand upon the reality that is the ultimate reality of the fact that you need to make something positive with your time, right? That's how I see time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like that. Because some people plan for them all, and that's not promised to you. So sometimes we are actually have to like grasp the meaning, the moment as it is right now. Just, literally doing this interview. Just grasp that and understand it, absorb it. Make it mean something. Make it because we could go through an event and not really get the meaning of it until after the fact. So I think that could be the difference. So it's basically grasping onto that moment, that moment in time that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Let me to add on, right? Mm-hmm. Every individual who has been incarcerated, everyone, hands down, bar none, wish they could get that time back, but know that they can't. You can buy all the watches in the world, right? But you'll never get that time back. And you always wish that you could have. You would have did something different, right? Did something different. 30 years, he'll never get that back. He can share that with you. He can tell you about it, right? He can give it to you to the best of his ability in terms of explanation, trying to draw the picture out for you, right? But he'll never get that back. I'll never get the time back that I did in the state as well as the feds. I'll never get that back, right? But what is left for me is to do what is best for me right now. Right now. Not tomorrow, but today, right? And so, oftentimes we have this, it's not going to happen to me, it happened to them attitude.
Yeah.
Right? But the same game is just different names.
No doubt.
My next question for you is this, because all that you told me basically comes down to one word, and that's discipline.
Exactly.
Right.
And in today's society, we call them the powers that be. I just call them the evil in charge.
Okay.
They manifest their power off of the lack of discipline given. And they also equate their riches to the lack of discipline executed. A man's discipline comes through experience and also through knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and insight. What do you think are the major things we can give our youth that will instill discipline and also breed discipline instead of having to force discipline?
Talk to them like they're intelligent human beings. You know what I mean? Don't talk to them like you talking down to them. Don't talk to them like you know what I mean? You on some authority, over top of them. Talk to them. It's just like when I was a child. I'm gonna give you an example. When I was a child, where I was sitting on top of the mailbox. I was sitting on top of a mailbox, just sitting there. My father came through, called me off the mailbox, right? And said, "Do you know what that is you sitting on?" I said, "Yeah, mailbox." He said, "What do they do with mailboxes?" I said, "They put mail in." He said, "So then it's not appropriate for you to be sitting on there because you may be hindering someone who wants to put mail in their box." I never sat on a mailbox after that, because he talked to me, right, with intelligence. He explained it to me. It made sense, right? And so therefore I never did it again, right? And opposed to when he had that heavy hand. You feel me? So I believe that if we just talk to the people, those who want to hear, those who want to listen are going to hear it.
And that makes a lot of sense, because what it's basically saying is explain why. Why not? I mean, because like, I'm a father and I have a 2-year-old, I have to do the parenting class. And that's what they basically says. It doesn't say, don't do that, do that. Explain why. And you could explain in a different voice. So now we're dealing with these youth. Bro, first of all, do any one of you know the penal code that controls the state of New Jersey? No. I'll give you $100. Tell me what the penal code of New Jersey is. None of them won't get it, because they not bothering themselves, think that they could get caught, okay? So now it's like, bro, do you know what you could get for carrying this illegal weapon? Do you know what you could get for riding this stolen car? XYZ. They don't understand it. So when you break it down to them, this is right here. When you get caught in that stolen car, you get caught in this gang filled up with XYZ, all the stuff like that. This is what's gonna happen to you. So explaining why you shouldn't be doing crimes. Don't be doing it. It's an explanation for why you shouldn't do it. And if it makes sense, this is how I reach the people, because it's gonna make sense. Like, man, a robbery is 20 years. Straight off the bat. Carrying a gun is automatic 5 years, straight off the bat.
That's a revolver.
Exactly, and that's a different thing. Now, do you want to live 20 years of your life in a bathroom? Because that's what basically the size of a cell. And how it is now through mass incarceration, they put 2 to 3 people in that cell. It depends on where you at. You know what I mean? This is what you got to deal with. So explaining this, like, you know what goes on there, because some people come from prison and don't explain. You know, we always use prison as, you know, the template and how we explain stuff, but you know, they come and try to glamorize it, but there's no glorification in that. But basically, like, explain, don't do it and why you shouldn't do it. I guess that'll reach the people.
I'm glad you said that, because you said, sir, that the good and the bad and how you use it. Prison is used for the good in hip hop, when really prison was also used as a man as well. We gave prison an identity, not a consequence. And that's something that bothers me, and why I respect what y'all do from the beginning now until you pass it on in legacy. Because when we give consequences and negatives a personality or a characteristic, we make it alive instead of making it a consequence. How do you use your hip hop to destroy the destroy the personality and the characterization, to bring the consequence to order, so that people can recognize the order of things?
I mean, it goes back to just like we just got finished saying, in terms of explaining, right? The explanation of what it is in the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Of why they want to get rid of us in the first place. I mean, this thing can get real deep. You know what I'm saying? Because they always been intimidated by us, by our manhood, by our manliness, by our aggressiveness, all that, right? All that. But if you think about it, though, without placing the blame on anybody or anything, think about it, because they talk about being a savage all the time in hip hop. Yeah, I'm a savage, I'm an animal, I'm this, I'm that, right? But if you think about it for a moment, so society has took you on your word of being a savage, of being an animal, and felt as though you need to be in a cage away from society to protect society from your savageness, right? Therefore, taking away your freedom, even though mentally you might think you're free, right? But you're caged still physically, and you can't move about freely, right? So let's look at it like that, right? You talk about a personality in terms of a consequence. Yeah, that personality is the consequence. It is the consequence. That personality, that building that they built for you for being a savage, is the personality of your consequence.
And the personality is the facade of it. You know, because, and this comes with the deglamification of, because we glorify prison. Prison, like you said, it was like the rites of passage. You see a guy coming home, you know, or I was lifting this much weight, I could box, or my skin is clear, and the women gravitate towards him. Like, man, you did such and such, and all along he probably been in that cell crying. He probably bitching on the phone. When you see these thorough dudes, bitching on the phone why they ain't get no visit, or tell the truth about it, like regardless how big you are, how much weight you could lift. When they tell you we're gonna come shake down your cell, and the first thing you gotta do is strip. And that means you gotta take off all your clothes, bend around and open up your ass. Open your ass, and some police might say, look, they might say, I wanna see the pink. I wanna see the pink. What the fuck? You understand? No, you're 6'4", you're a gorilla, your bench is 400. So we got to, strip this personality and break it down, tell the truth about it. You see, and that rawness. Take all this, you're trying to glorify, prison. You're trying to glorify it, you know what I mean? But in it's real, whereas people go in there thorough to the core and they lose their mind, they end up on controlled medication. Or the worst, they kill themselves. You see? So when we tell the truth about that personality be like,
Or before you ask that question, just to add on, right? Pardon me for just to add on though. I mean, can you name one successful criminal?
George Bush.
He's one.
There it is. The history of the president.
No. See, he's successful in your eye to the extent of your sight. There's no such thing as a successful criminal. Look at all these organizations like BMF. They can ready to bring a movie out with BMF, right? Was doing their thing. All these different little crime organizations where they had yachts and boats and all of the latest cars and everything, right? And they in ADX. They in ADX, right? They in federal, federal maximum security, no movement, reading your mail off the screen, right? Reading your mail off a screen. You can't even enjoy the money that you work so hard to get, right? In a criminal organization. Where's the joy in that?
Right.
Where's the joy in that, man? I can't
no
ride that yacht no more.
There ain't no retirement plan but prison.
Or death.
There's no 401k in that criminal lifestyle but the cemetery.
But you mentioned George Bush, right? Okay, so let's go into history. Let's look at the Kennedys, right? The father was a bootlegger, right? They made their fortune. They went into politics, as they do, right? And look at the curse of their family been happening. They just been one assassinated, another one assassinated, another one attempted assassinate, another one in plane crash with his family. You know what I mean? Just on and on and on and on, right? There's no success in being a criminal, period.
It catches up to you.
It catches up to you. Karma is vicious.
It's real life. So I had 3 more questions and then I'm going to close off. Being that you do hip hop, and this is heritage hip hop, I'm going to give you my breakdown of hip hop and then ask you a question. I don't believe hip hop is music. I think if you say hip hop is music, you've copped out to your general purpose. I believe hip hop is our expression through God in our ways and actions, because hip hop is music, clothes, lessons.
Right, it's culture.
It's everything.
It's culture.
So to be a culture, it has to live and exist inside and outside of you, like the teachings of divine scripture.
Right.
So that's what I believe hip hop is. And being that you use your words to do your work, because if man gives you a job, God gives you your work, because your work lives beyond you. What is the most important hip hop verse you've ever written, and how did you see it affect the people?
Well, the most important one to me, right? I don't know how it affected the people because it actually didn't get out.
It ain't get out yet.
It ain't get out, but it was like, if I can remember it correctly, I believe I said, family nucleus, believing in one God, right? Something to that effect, right?
Okay.
I can't remember it like offhand right now because it was a while ago, but it was the strongest bar that I ever wrote, right? It'll come to me. Let him go. Let me think about it, and it'll come to me. Hold up.
I think the most important verse is on a song that's yet to be released. And that song, the concept of that song came from him, and it was Apology. Because we don't, when I said we, always put myself because I came up, I started on the streets since the age of 12. And it's crazy when I think about it, age of 12, you was running, you was carrying guns, you was doing it, and we don't know how that affect our parents. Mother, father, siblings, and stuff like that. She got to come back and forth out of the precinct, sign you up, and you don't know how that affect them. So that verse was, I think about all the things I did as a kid, going back and forth, downstate, doing bids. It brought many tears to my mama's eyes like black clouds make the rain fall from the sky. That's just part of that. Because that's what I look at. This is how I see how I affected my mother first. My father told me, boy, my father never went to prison. You go to prison, I'm not going to see you. But he came to see me. I know my mother drug him to see me down Trenton State Prison because he was sick. He was on, he was ill. He was almost gone. So it's like that right there. I mean, because in the verse also encaptures what we do, victimizing people in society. So I think that song right there. And the brother you was interviewing earlier, he produced that track. Yeah. That track is a monster track. Yeah. He's the best kept secret. I tell people he's the best. This boy got a lot of soul. Big Dub. You understand what I'm saying? Big Dub. And what, man? How long you had that song? 2 years. Oh, I ain't want to get this song. So you know what? Put him on that track. He on that track.
And it gave me a verse on it too.
He on that track. So, and that's my answer for you.
That song that he's talking about, that song is so strong, right? Because of his verse, not because of my verse, because of his verse, because of what happened, what inspired that verse. You know what I'm saying? Because his mother is no longer with us, right? And that's what inspired that verse. And so that verse kind of brings tears to your eyes when you listen to it.
Literally, it did me that.
Right? It brings tears to your eyes, right? Brings them emotions out. For me though, right? That song is strong, and I can't take nothing away from that song.
I think it's us.
And Dub did his thing. But the strongest bar for us,
that's my favorite.
Right? Was why is it that Black Lives Matter only when cops kill us, but not when we kill us? The illest feeling inside is the villain within us.
That's the verse.
That right there. If we want to talk about present, you flashed me back to the past. I was getting ready to hit you something from way back that meant something to me now to this point. But that, us, right? So yeah.
2 songs yet to be released.
That's my favorite one from him.
I'm glad you gave me something current instead of something in the past, because that's why I think a lot of people fail.
Right.
Because our greatness is always in front of us, not behind us.
Right.
So whenever, when we talked to KRS-One, when he did talking about doing the verses, he said, well, who wants the verses me? I got 30 albums. Can they beat my new catalog? Because he's still going.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the one thing about y'all movement that means so much to me personally, is because the issues that we're talking about or talking against are still here.
Right, exactly.
And I've told people a long time ago to this day, we used to listen to songs look, Marvin Gaye's album, The Ecology, is still relevant. Tupac, they say Tupac's still relevant. I want to get to a day when all that stuff, people are like, I don't listen to that no more. We've been past that. And we don't need that anymore. And the simple fact that we still need to get through trauma is an issue.
Right.
My second to last question is this. What is the most traumatic thing you healed in somebody else?
I can't answer that off top.
Okay.
I can't honestly answer that off top. Because I don't, we affect people that we don't even know.
Right, exactly.
or been in contact personally with. So I can't really, that's my brother right there. That's my blood brother right there. But they can tell you on the effect that it had when I left them out here to fend for themselves on the history of my name. For them to make a name for themselves in order for them to survive in the streets of Philadelphia. You feel me? So I can't honestly answer that, because people that came up to me that I don't even know and be like, listen, I seen such and such, Or I heard you when you said such and such. That touched me. So I can't pinpoint that.
I mean, and I think that's a healing in itself. when somebody come up and tell you that, I guess just you, period, and the same as that. I mean, you never know, because I always try to impart, something good, because it's a lot of healing that needs to be going on, especially in our community. A lot of healing with our sisters, with the youth. It's this young boy, he like this size, just now with the brother, he's getting some food. He came up to you, do you got any some change so I get something to eat? Bro, how you get down here? He got on a tank top with flip-flops and no socks. And I know it rhymes, but this is how he look. How you get down here, you ask for food? I got in an Uber. I know that's a lie. How you getting where your phone at? How you getting my mother ordered an Uber? So you mean tell me your mother ordered your Uber to come downtown to ask for either something to eat, beg for change? I know that was a lie. Downtown was my second home. Anytime my mother wanted to see me, come downtown, because I was downtown doing wrong. So it's like we need the healing. So always trying to impart something good, words, and like people see me back. How y'all survive? How you do, man? How you make it through 30? It's actually 31 years. How did you do that? I did day for day. I don't know, bro. It's good to see you, man. You made it back. So those little things, I guess could be inspirational, good, but I can't really pinpoint that as well.
I'm not going to be able to ask my last two questions because of battery life.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell y'all something from me to you personally. Because if I was my brother to tell you, I listen to everything. Yeah. I'm a Jersey hip hop head. Okay. So when it came to Life was Official, everything Life was, back in, I think I saw first of the video on Rap City, BT. So I paid attention for years. And I'm going to leave the interview with this. And I told him this. Y'all are our superheroes in the hood. So, never went to jail, whatever. People could think whatever they want to say about me or anybody else, fine.
The genius.
But this is what I'm going to say. When Black Panther came out, young men said, oh, this is how you feel to society. Because when we saw Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, that's not who we were. Right. We wish we could be that. But when we saw the Black Panther movie, we were kings. We weren't stepping fetches. We weren't coons. We weren't the funny guy or the whatever. You know what I'm saying? And for us who love hip hop, whether y'all were behind those walls or on the block, y'all were our superheroes because y'all gave us a level of excellence that I think today's generation is not getting, which was more than knowledge itself. It was the awareness that the world is bigger than what you have in front of you. Life is a classroom without walls. So everywhere you go, you learn. So to walk off on this interview, I'm gonna say this. The most traumatic thing that y'all ever healed within me personally was the lack of identity. Because we went to school to learn things that did not help us. Right. We went to a society that was racist against us from the time we came out our mother's wombs. To adulthood where you couldn't find a job because of how your name sounded or what you looked like or you didn't fit in. Right. So the simple fact that y'all took vernacular, wordplay, a story, and gave us lessons no book could ever tell us, because the spirit of the word flows within a man's soul by how it's delivered. The most traumatic thing y'all healed me from, and as many other people from, was lack of identity. And because we can see there's a positivity coming from you that can save another person's soul, y'all make what Heritage Hip Hop is today, which is a media tool to give not only our story so nobody can write us out of history, but it also is something that we could reflect on, listen to, have a legacy of, and build on from it. So from Forever Heritage Hip Hop, I want to thank you two brothers.
Salute. On that note, one more thing. Knowledge turns boys into men, and faith turns men into lions.
And with that being said, grow out your mane. Peace.
Life is Group Official.
And we out. Thank you for watching our presentation. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube family and hit the notification bell for updates. Please like, comment, and share this video.
Hip hop, for real.